Hi, ladies. Happy almost ending of self-care week. I want to thank you guys again for being awesome on both ends, on putting out amazing content and also commenting and participating and trying out all the tips. Have you been trying them out? So today I want to talk to you about something super powerful that group member Gina taught me. We were having a conversation last week. I asked if I could share this with you because it's something that I, as a perfectionist, struggle with, and I thought that you might too. And this was a total new way of framing something that was really empowering for me. And it's something I've already made some progress in, but I think with this reframe and new way to phrase it and new language behind it, it's really going to be helpful for me. And remember, our words are powerful. The words that we use really shape the way that we think and act. So this is the concept, right? When we have to settle for something less than perfect in our business and in life. Some examples might be, for me, I recently hired some help, a virtual assistant. And so what happens when we hire help or we outsource is things aren't always done exactly as we would. My assistant is actually amazing, and she actually does better at me at many things. But in general, if you hire out your website or you hire out your logo, it's always going to be done a little differently than you would have, right? So maybe that's settling, right? I'm settling for less than perfect. For me, one way I've settled in my business is right now I focused on my Facebook group, but I have put Instagram and Twitter on pause. Initially in my business, I was like, I've got to do all the social media. I can't just do one, like that's settling. But I think that's also, I talk a lot about like when do our gifts help us and when do they hurt us? So when is our perfectionism helping me as an entrepreneur, making me excellent and give really high quality value? And then where is it hurting me, holding me back, making me lean into passive action, safe action? So I think that's a question I want you to ask yourself if you're a perfectionist. Anyways, but Gina, I asked her to come up with a different word for us instead of settling. And the definition she came up with is, what's a word we can use to describe when we determine the appropriate path or choice for the most balanced resolution? And the word she came up with was determine, basically, determine, because it connotates a thought process and a conscious choice, right? Because when we choose to outsource, when we choose to prioritize something different in our business, or put our website up as is, even though we know we're going to go back and improve it later, or we just put up a landing page, we don't put up a whole website because we know we really need to focus our action on something else in our business. That's not really settling. That's determining. We're determining, we're prioritizing, we're being very intentional, and that's good. Like, it's good if we are not putting 100% in everything in our business, because we should not be putting 100% of our energy in the things that aren't our priorities in our business. Same thing with our life, right? Like, there are some areas of my life, like getting the dishes done every single day, that I settle in, that I determine that I would rather spend the evening with my son and figure out, it's just, to me, it's about prioritization. But the reason I loved that Gina is using this word determine instead of settle is because I think it just reinforces and empowers us as women, as business owners, that we do have that conscious choice to determine where we put our energy and focus. And that's a good thing. Like, it's a good thing that we let other things fade away. It's a good thing that we that we say no to some things, because that's saying yes to the other things, right? Like, we have to say no in order to say yes, which, don't even get me started on the whole saying no guilt-free thing, because, and I even made a freebie on that at one point. Would you believe it? But this week I had an incident where someone had asked me to do something, and I know I needed to say no because, right? How do we know when we need to say no to something? I'll tell you, because you dread it. Like, there's this sense of like dread that comes up. And when we're saying yes to something to get rid of it or to just be an easy fix, and that definitely was the case for me, but my husband was like, yeah, really? So I said no. And the other advice I would have for you too in saying no that I give to myself is not over explaining, right? Like, I feel like as women, when we say no to something, we feel like we have to like say, I can't make it because of this and this and blah, 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 instead of like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it, I hope you have fun. Like, I'm trying to really get a lot better at not having to overly justify myself. That was a tangent. But yes, reminding ourselves that, is that a word? I'm reminding myself that it's important to be able to determine and make intentional choices, and that is not settling in the sense of accepting a second best. In fact, it's being intentional and smart. Okay, I would love to hear what you had to say about this topic. Thank you to Gina for bringing this brilliance and her English major skills to the table. I always enjoy your guys' insights. Okay, I hope you don't forget to comment on the women who guest spokes posts so that you can be eligible for all those awesome prizes. I'm super excited to give those away. Okay, have a great day, you guys.